حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Hello, Muslim friends of the world. One of the powerful countries in the world is China. The land of the Panda has 31 provinces, autonomous regions, and major cities that are directly under the central government's administration. Among these many provinces, Xinjiang is particularly interesting because it has the largest Muslim population in China. It is known that Islam is a minority religion in China. According to data compiled by the MPI Research Team from the Council of Foreign Relations, CFR, agnosticism is the most widely adhered to belief, with 31.8% of the Chinese population. Following that, there are traditional Chinese religions, 30.8%, Buddhism, 16.6%, Christianity, 7.4%, and Islam with 1.8% of the population. Xinjiang itself is home to 26 million people, with around 58% of its residents being Muslim. The largest ethnic group in Xinjiang is the Uyghur, along with Kazakhs, Hui, Kyrgyz, and other Muslim ethnicities. The Uyghur population alone reaches 12 million people. In the past, the Chinese people used to call Xinjiang Xiyu, which means the Western region. However, over time, this region became known as Xinjiang or New Frontier. This happened after Xiyu was annexed by the Manchu dynasty in the 18th century. This province is located in a relatively sparsely populated and rugged mountainous area. In terms of culture, UNESCO listed Uyghur Mukim as an intangible cultural heritage in 2006. Mukim itself is an art form that contains various elements, such as dance, song, and folk music with diverse rhythms. Most of the song lyrics are created by classical Uyghur artists. The songs depict the lives of the contemporary Uyghur community. Quoting a journal published in the Third International Conference on Art Studies in 2019 titled Study on China's Uyghur 12 and the Past 40 Years of Reform and Opening Up by Nurbay Iman, Rehimatullah Tadaji, and Osman Juma, Mukim deserves to be called a cultural treasure of China, which has existed for decades. Mukim is influenced by 19 countries and regions along the borders of Asia, Africa, and Europe. Each country has its own name for Mukim. Therefore, it can be concluded that there are at least 19 Mukims in the world, originating from various different countries. If you visit Xinjiang, you must visit some famous and eye-pleasing tourist attractions in the area. Examples include the Pearl of Tian Shan Mountain, the Gobi Desert, and Seiram Lake. It is best to visit Xinjiang from March to May, in the spring. Beautiful flowers bloom abundantly in the province during the spring season. One of the flowers commonly seen in Xinjiang is lavender. Besides spring, another suitable time to travel to Xinjiang is from August to October. During these times, Xinjiang is in the autumn season. The Uyghurs are a Muslim ethnic group spread across Xinjiang, northwest China. This ethnic group is one of the two Muslim groups residing in China. Besides the Uyghurs, there are also the Hui people, but the Uyghurs in China are more often spotlighted due to frequent discriminatory treatment. Some Western countries even consider that China is committing genocide against this ethnic group. According to a BBC report, the Uyghurs speak their own language, which is similar to Turkish. They also have a culture closely related to other ethnic groups in Central Asian countries. Their population is approximately 12 million people, dominating the Xinjiang region, which is thus known as the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, XUAR. Unlike the Hui people who blend in with Chinese society, the Uyghurs are isolated. Their culture and language contribute to a negative stereotype of the Muslim ethnic group from Xinjiang in the eyes of the native Chinese. The Diplomat reported that under the guise of counter-terrorism and anti-separatism efforts, the Chinese government maintains a widespread ethnic discrimination system against the Uyghurs and strictly restricts their religious and cultural expressions. One reason why the Uyghur Muslims are treated this way is their strong adherence to their own culture. They also refuse to assimilate into the majority Chinese society. Therefore, they receive much negative reaction ranging from chauvinism, excessive patriotism, to accusations of being ungrateful by the Han elite, the majority ethnic group in China. Conversely, the Han people, native Chinese, who behave this way are considered barbarians in the eyes of the Uyghur community. Many Han people feel uncomfortable with the Uyghurs, as they believe this group to be thieves, hot-tempered, and religious fanatics. This is due to the Han's lack of knowledge about the differences among Turkish minority groups. Thus, when crimes are committed by Tajiks, Kazakhs, Kyrgyz, Uzbeks, or Tatars, the Han people are likely to describe the offenders to authorities as Uyghurs. Liang Zhang, a researcher on Chinese media at Xinjiang University in Urumqi, analyzed several government newspapers in his research, finding that the depiction of Uyghurs in Chinese government media as terrorists and threats to China greatly increased after September 11, the September 11, 2001 attacks in the United States. Xinjiang itself is known as a desert region and produces about 1/5 of the world's cotton. Human rights groups have raised concerns that much of the cotton export is obtained through forced labor, and in 2021 several Western brands removed Xinjiang cotton from their supply chains. In December 2020, research viewed by the BBC indicated that up to 0.5 million people were forced to pick cotton in Xinjiang. Moreover, China has reportedly forcibly sterilized Uyghur women to suppress the population, separated children from their families, and sought to break the group's cultural traditions. This report has drawn condemnation from various parties. In international forums, countries like the US, UK, Canada, and the Netherlands have accused China of genocide. Data analysis in the latest police documents, called the Xinjiang Police Files, shows that nearly 23,000 residents, or more than 12% of the adult population in one area, were in camps or prisons in 2017 and 2018. However, the Chinese government denies all allegations of human rights abuses in Xinjiang. Responding to the Xinjiang Police Files, a Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson told the BBC that the documents were the latest example of anti-China voices trying to smear China. China states that the crackdown in Xinjiang is necessary to prevent terrorism and eradicate Islamic extremism, and the camps are effective tools for re-educating inmates in the fight against terrorism.